I got divorced in 2014, and since then, I have heard so much talk about dating, whether you should date single, whether you should date multiples. I just saw a post recently on TikTok, and the guy was asking the question, is having too many options and dating multiples the reason why most people are single? And of course, I post all the time about why people are single. People are choosing singleness because relationships aren't as beneficial as people would like to make them out to be, especially for women. And my response to him was, I don't think, dating multiples has anything to do with it. I think that people date with intentions. All dating has intentions, you know. And he was kind of saying that he felt like if you were dating multiples, you were kind of giving into your impulses every time you went somewhere, you saw somebody you were interested in, and you just followed that. Okay, if you're dating, you're dating. You're not exclusive. You can do exactly that. That's what singleness is about. Singleness is about exploring people that you're attracted to, getting to know them, seeing if you want to get to know them further. That's what being single is. And he made a comment, and someone else on his feed made a comment that dating multiples was the worst thing to do, that you will constantly compare instead of getting to know how great a person is. And I responded, well, the point of dating is to vet and compare. The point is to choose the best person. And that's why it's the best thing to do. We know this with cars, with homes, with jobs. Why, with people who are more important, are we avoiding comparison? And even if I'm just dating one person, I'm comparing him to my single life. Has he improved my life at all? So there's always a comparison. This person who posted also said that he just thinks that, you can't really see a person when you focus on too many people at once. Now, I can't speak for another person's time, their energy, their focus. So, if you are not able to date multiples because you can't focus on more than one person at a time, then that is absolutely acceptable for you to say. But to say that no one can do that is a mischaracterization, because people have all kinds of abilities, and there are people who are polyamorous and they not only date multiple people, but they have relationships, sometimes live in relationships with multiple people. So it depends on the person. And also, I replied to him about this, not being able to focus or see a person for who they are, you know, that when I dated one at a time, that person didn't get more of my time or energy than when I was dating multiple people, because I purposely still stayed busy because we were not in a relationship. I did not want them to feel like they had complete and total access to all of my free time. Um, I didn't want to be fully invested in someone or something that may go nowhere. Dating is like job hunting. You keep your options open until you're hired. Then that's when you fully invest in your position. And I think a lot of people get burned because they are so fully invested in something that hasn't really been determined to be what both people want. It's still in the talking stage, it's still in the, exploration stage. And then this guy responded, um, well, it's a problem because you're not tied to that person. Yeah, that's the exact point. If a guy walks up to me and asks me for my number and I give him my number, I'm not tied to him. If he calls me and we start to have conversations, I'm not tied to him. If we start dating and we're getting to know each other, I'm still not tied to him. The only time I'm, quote, tied to him is when we both decide that we want to be exclusive and be a couple and see nobody else and be in a relationship. Then we're tied. But just him expressing interest doesn't stop anything from happening with me seeing other people, talking to other people, getting to know other people. No, I'm not tied. So I think, that some people don't understand dating. They think dating is a relationship. It's not. Some people don't understand that their interest does not mean that you become their property. They don't own you just because they're interested. So I just think that that's something, especially when we keep having these discussions and keep having these discussions, that people need to accept that dating is exploration. Dating is getting to know people. Dating can be multiples or singles, depending on who you are and your own capacity to juggle more than one person, and you need to know who you are dealing with and what their expectations are, and be honest and, transparent about yours. So please check out my podcast, Zenergy, Zennurgy. Please check out my books on Amazon. My name is Zenashe, Zenase. That's 2 words. And I'd love to have you like, share, follow, and subscribe. And may you walk in Zenergy.